Hello, everybody. This is Psychic Liz Cross from psychiclizcross.com. Today is March 23rd, 2023, and we are so lucky. Back by popular demand is Miss Sina, and she has a big deep dive for us today in the ISO20022. I really don't know a lot about it, but take it away, Miss Sina.
Thank you, Liz. You're so nice. And I just want to thank you for all the work you do, because this is it's a tough job, and you're really good at it. So just want to say thank you.
Well, I'm glad somebody thinks so. Oh, I'm teasing. Well, thank you for thanking me. I always feel so privileged to be able to do this, and I try to share as much as possible. And I know that you do too. You are a tarot card reader. She is not taking bookings now. I know. Roll your eyes, sigh. I'm disappointed too, but she will be in the future, and you all will be the first to know. All right. So where would you like to start?
Okay, so we're going to probe ISO20022. This is kind of an important regulation that's coming up. SWIFT is going to implement it for their payment system. It's basically regulations, and you have to be ISO20022 compliant in order to be used on their payment system platform, which is SWIFT, I believe. And they are trying to implement it in all these banks that they have a timeline for to be compliant. March 2023 is the date our payment community starts to migrate to the new format. And I believe that a lot of cryptos are going to have to be compliant in order to be used in the SWIFT payment system. The main ones that I believe are involved are XRP, XLM. There's a whole list of them, but let's just do some questions regarding which banks are compliant so far, because it's the banks and the cryptos that have to be compliant. So
I didn't know that. So it's the banks and the cryptos that have to be compliant. I thought it was just the cryptos that had to be compliant.
Yeah, no, it's the banks, because they have to. So JP Morgan, I believe, is already compliant. It looks like they are one of the main banks involved, but there's a list of banks that we want to probe to see how far along they are. The list of banks is here.
Okay. And the list of banks is located on the SWIFT website?
No, I found this list somewhere else on in a group chat, and a group chat who believes that from someone who thinks that this is a controlled collapse, and that these are the banks involved in the controlled collapse. And it's
So let me ask you this question. What do you mean by controlled collapse? You believe that these banks failing are possibly controlled? This was, a controlled domino effect that was supposed to happen?
I kind of believe that, but I want to probe a few people like Janet Yellen to try and get answers, because I believe that what's happening, I do kind of believe that this was planned. And this is just my theory, because I don't really know for sure. I mean, no, people are not going to come out and admit, yeah, we're going to collapse the US dollar and all the banks so that everyone's forced to use, our new system. But I believe that cryptos were created with the intention of herding people into the digital, cashless society. And how they do it is by making people think that Satoshi Nakamoto was this person to create decentralized currency to get away from the banks. And so people would invest in it. And then eventually more and more people put their money into it. But if you look, like, kind of follow the money, you'll see that most of the central banking systems in Wall Street, well, not the central banks, but Wall Street companies are the leaders in the crypto exchanges. Like, if you research the Circle's one of the companies that owns like half the crypto exchanges. They are owned by Wall Street companies. So, it's not just, everyday people that are investing. I mean, there's like over $1 trillion in the crypto market. So that money is not coming from everyday people. It's coming from big financial institutions. They're the ones that are investing their money. And I believe that they're cashing out of crypto when it does these huge pumps, and the huge pumps cause everyone to kind of FOMO in, and then they invest all their money. And then all these big people, Wall Street or whoever's involved behind the scenes in the exchanges, they're cashing out. Then they cause the market to dump. And then, it kind of just rinse and repeat. And I believe that this last collapse, when the crypto market, is also what caused, or not collapse, but like the drop in the crypto market caused the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, because Silicon Valley Bank was one of, they had a lot of crypto investors and people and they were, I believe, transferring money through their bank and cashing out the cryptos for people. And that they ended up holding a lot of crypto, which caused them to collapse, just like exchanges are collapsing. So, we're going to do a probe on that also. But yeah, and I believe that this is going to keep happening with this next pump coming up in, I believe there's a pump coming in 24, 25, and it's going to be the same thing where, the banks are going to pump, or they're going to pump crypto and then dump it again. And then I believe this next one is going to cause a bigger, like a more widespread issue, to bring in regulations, which is this ISO20022. And then everything will be regulated. And, if you're not compliant, then you're SOL. So, yeah, that's what I believe, but I'm not sure.
Okay. And this is what you have formulated from your own personal research. And I know how much you love to research, and I know how in-depth you research, because we've been doing readings for a long time. And the last couple of years I've known you. So definitely, you didn't just come up with this off the cuff. Oh, I know. This is from all of the research that you have done, tons and tons and tons and tons of research. So we're not saying this is factual yet, but what we will do is, Christina was kind enough to set that up for us, and now you're going to understand where her line of questioning is going.
Yeah, so let's probe some of the banks to find out who is ISO 20022 compliant.
Okay.
Let's try and probe the bigger ones. Let's see.
And I know you have a big list there, but we can get through it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to pick the bigger ones, because I believe we've gone through this list before. And I believe the last time we went through, there was only, I want to say I think we went through 20, maybe 10, 20 of the banks. And I think maybe half of them were less than half were compliant at the time, but I can't remember which ones we went through. So Central Bank of Brazil, that's a big one. Are they ISO compliant?
ISO 2022 compliant. They're getting there. Okay. They are working on becoming compliant. This is something that is very important to them.
Okay. Cayman Islands, Monetary Authority. because everyone has their money in, is it the Cayman Islands?
Yeah, that's a good haven right there. No.
Okay, let's look at Central Africa, Central African Republic, Bank of Central African States.
They're working on it.
Okay. I'll go through this list again. Bank of France.
Almost there.
Deutsche Bundesbank, Germany.
Which bank?
It's called Deutsche
Oh, the
Bundesbank.
Deutsche Bank?
Yeah.
Are you ISO 20022 compliant? Yes.
Okay. Hong Kong Monetary Authority.
Monetary Authority. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? Yes.
Reserve Bank of India.
Reserve Bank of India. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? No.
Interesting. I thought that they would be. Let's look at Italy, Bank of Italy.
Yes.
Ooh, let's ask the Vatican Bank.
No.
Bank of Israel.
Yes.
Bank of Japan.
No.
Bank of Korea.
2022 compliant. Yes.
Bank of Malaysia. Central Bank of Malaysia.
Yes.
Bank of
You know, I can't remember when we did this probe before, but it seems like there are a lot more yeses this time. So people are getting compliant.
Okay. Bank of Mexico.
No.
Netherlands Bank.
Netherlands Bank Review ISO 20022 compliant. Yes.
Let's see. Central Reserve Bank of Peru. I'm just curious about this one.
Central Reserve Bank of Peru. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? No.
Saudi Arabia Monetary Agency.
Monetary Agency. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? Yes.
Central Bank of Seychelles.
Central Bank of Seychelles. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? They're getting there.
Monetary Authority of Singapore.
Monetary Authority of Singapore. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? No.
That's interesting. Most of the exchanges are in Singapore.
Wow. Okay. Why are you not ISO 20022? They've still got a bit more work to do.
Okay.
They're working on it.
South African Reserve Bank.
Reserve Bank, are you ISO 20022 compliant? Yes. That one's surprising.
Yeah. So when I say exchanges, I'm talking about the crypto exchanges. Like I think more than half of the exchanges are in Singapore, which is strange. I'm not really sure why, but Bank of Spain.
20022 compliant? No.
Swiss National Bank.
Yes.
Bank of Thailand.
20022 compliant. No.
Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey.
Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey. ISO 20022 compliant. Yes.
That's interesting. National Bank of Ukraine.
Are you ISO 20022 compliant? No.
Central Bank of United Arab Emirates.
20022 compliant. Yes.
Bank of England, United Kingdom.
Are you ISO 20022 compliant? Yes.
Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Are you ISO 20022 compliant? Yes.
Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe.
Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Are you ISO 2022 compliant? No.
Okay. So those are the ones that I was interested in as far as being compliant. So we can cover this another time. I probably should make notes. Maybe I will later.
What does this mean though, Miss Sina? What does this mean as far as like, you know, where you think this is heading, that now that these banks are compliant? Do you think we're moving closer to adopting a central bank digital currency?
Yes. Well, the main reason is because the Federal Reserve is implementing a new payment system called FedNow, and they're going to utilize a central bank digital currency in order to make payments through the FedNow service. And there's actually something called the U.S. Faster Payments Council, who just recently had a meeting on March 20th to 21st, and they are planning to I guess they're discussing implementing their own central bank digital currency. We kind of probed them a little bit earlier, but I believe they are working on deciding how they're going to implement this. And then I'd like to do a probe on Janet Yellen to ask her some questions about it.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna get sick of me. I already probed her once today. No, actually, the probe that we did earlier today was very interesting. Very shocking, very surprising. Yeah, let's pull her in. What would you like to know?
Okay, so does she know about the ISO 20022?
You know, she likes a cocktail in the evening, by the way. Do you know about the ISO 2022 compliance? Not enough about it, she says. A little.
Is she involved in the does she knows about the FedNow program?
Do you know about the FedNow program? Yes.
Is she involved in making decisions about which central bank digital currency will be chosen for the
Decision about which central bank digital currency will be chosen? No, she's not involved in that.
Does she own crypto?
You own crypto? Yes, Bitcoin.
She owns Bitcoin. Does she know if there was a plan to pump cryptos and then cash out, to basic, if that's what's happening? And like the banks are involved in this, or Wall Street?
No. Or have you heard of a plan where there's a massive pump with the banks and Wall Street to pump crypto and then cash out? Yes, she's heard of this. Do you believe it's true? She doesn't know if it's accurate, but she says, yeah, it looks kind of fishy.
So, okay. I feel like we need to probe someone who knows more about the ISO 20022. So let's bring in Brad Garlinghouse, because he is, that guy involved with Ripple, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since I probed him. Hello again, Brad.
So is he familiar with the ISO 20022 regulations?
Familiar with the ISO 2002. Yes, very familiar.
Does he know about the plan to pump cryptos and then cash out through banks?
You know about the plan to pump cryptos and cash out through banks. Yes, he suspects that. Yes.
Does he think the Silicon Valley bank collapse was caused by that? Like,
This was caused by that. No.
okay, let's
Mismanagement.
CEO of Silicon. The CEO is the new CEO of Silicon Valley Bank. The prior CEO is this Mr. Greg Becker, ex-CEO.
Okay.
Does he know about the does he know what caused the Silicon Valley Bank collapse?
You know what's caused the Silicon Valley Bank? Yeah, he says too much greed.
Okay, was Silicon Valley Bank being used like an exchange for people to cash out of their cryptos?
Ooh, you're being used as an exchange for people to catch up. Yes, they offered that service. That is correct.
Does he believe that that is mainly what caused their collapse? Because they were holding crypto as the price went down?
His personal thought, feeling, and opinion is no,
Oh,
but maybe he doesn't see that.
okay. Does he know, let's see. Are they holding a lot of crypto?
Millions.
Millions.
Him
What is your,
personally, he has millions.
okay, what about Silicon Valley Bank?
Yes, billions.
Billions. And does he know about, are they ISO 20022 compliant?
Yeah, ISO 20022 compliant. Yes, they are.
Is there a plan does he know if there's a plan for a banking collapse to switch over to cashless society or, central bank digital currency?
Banking collapse for us to swap over to a cashless society. He believes so. Yes, that is correct. That's his personal thought, feeling, and opinion.
Does he know what the next central bank digital currency will be?
Next central bank digital currency will be the digital dollar.
Is there a crypto that's going to be used? Does he know if there's a crypto that's going to be used, or is it something that banks are just going to create by themselves?
Crypto is going to be used, or banks going to create it. Banks will create this.
Okay. Let's see. Will the ISO 20022 coins, does he know, will they be backed by metals?
Will they be backed by metals? The ISO 2022 coins, will they be backed by? No.
Okay, let's ask Brad Garlinghouse that same question.
ISO 20022 cryptos will be backed by metals. It's possible. Now he believes it's possible. This guy, Greg Becker, doesn't think so. So there's two different opinions there.
Okay, so I feel like Garlinghouse would be more knowledgeable because he is the CEO of Ripple, and that's the main one that's going to be used, I believe, for international payments, cross-border payments as a bridge currency. So let's ask him that question. Is that true? Is XRP going to be used for international payments as a cross-border digital currency?
No.
It's not. Okay, let's bring in Jed McCaleb. I believe he's the CEO of XLM, which is the other crypto. Do you see his face right here?
Okay, yeah.
So he was originally with XRP, and then he started his own crypto company, and he's a co-founder of Ripple.
Mhm.
And then he sold his investment and started his own company, which is XLM, the other crypto, right? So does he believe XLM is going to be, what did I just ask Garley House?
If the backed by metals
Yeah, if it's going to be backed by metals.
is going to be backed by metals. No, it's not currently backed by metals. Do you believe that if it is adopted as the central bank digital currency, would it be backed by metals? No. These guys don't seem to believe that none of this has to be backed by anything.
Okay, so does he think that XLM will be used as the next central bank digital currency?
Do you believe that XLM will be used as the next central bank digital currency? He says it's possible, and that's what he would like to see, but he's unsure.
Are they currently doing cross-border payments at the minute for ISO 2022?
Are you currently doing any cross-border payments with the No, that was a good question.
Are they compliant with ISO?
So 20022. No, almost there.
Really? I'm for sure they would be.
This is what's coming through. Okay. I feel like this ISO 20022 compliance, wherever that is created, I don't even know where that stems from, the root of that. But I feel like that is constantly tweaking and changing the standards. So I feel like, companies or banks or cryptos are getting compliant. And then wait a minute, one more thing. Wait a minute, one more thing. Do you see how that's worked? You see what I mean? So
Okay.
that's what it feels like. It's like these guys get compliant and then they want to add another layer and then add another layer. That's what's going on here.
Okay, so let's go back to Janet Yellen. I want to ask her, is there a plan? Is there a timeline that they have as far as implementing the FedNow payment system? Or who is the fast? Let's see.
As soon as possible. I did a whole video on cashless society. Okay, the future, it's pretty scary. That is exclusive for Patreon subscribers only. You subscribe by going to Patreon/remote viewing and beyond, but you wouldn't believe the stuff that we uncovered in that video. I mean, it's an hour-long video, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's
Yeah.
anyway, you'll see it because obviously you're on the Patreon. So, but for those of you that want to know what's coming with this cashless society, and you want to be in the know and how you also circumvent it, you need to be on the Patreon. You need to get that video. It's so chilling. Anyway, sorry. Next question.
I've been meaning to watch it. I haven't had time. Sorry. Okay, so let's go to this. The people involved with the Federal Reserve Payment Program. I guess, Stephanie, no, not Director, Vice President of National Processor for Accounts, Financial Service. Okay, let's probe Keith Melton. I think we probed him before.
Okay.
Does he know if there's a timeline for implementing ISO 20022?
There's a timeline for implementing ISO 20022. He says within the next 6 months.
Okay. Is there a program or is there a plan to switch to, like, as far as the timeline, is there a plan to do this by 2026?
Is there a timeline to do this by 2026? We want to be fully loaded and running by 2026.
Yeah, but is there a plan to require all banks and all people to switch over to this cashless society by 2026.
Is there a plan for everyone to swap over to a cashless society by 2026? No.
Okay, so
That
the
is a
reason
good question.
the reason why I'm asking is because I believe I got information from my tarot, because I do tarot once in a while for myself, just ask questions. But I believe that this next run of cryptos from 2024 to 2025 is going to basically do the same thing as the last run, where there's a big pump. And then I believe that, when the people cash out from this next run, that it's going to cause a, huge multi-bank failure. So similar to what happened with Silicon Valley Bank, and it's going to cause a crisis. And then everyone's going to have to switch over to cashless or to digital, the central bank digital currency or whatever plan they have to go all digital. And that after 2025, you won't be able to, you're going to have to switch over in order to access your money, because they have these, there's a law called, it's a bank bail-in law that was implemented, I don't know, back in 2014, I believe, by Obama.
Mhm.
And this was, I read about this before, but it's involved with the Dodd-Frank Act, and they are, let's see, it basically allows the banks to seize your money in case of a crisis and basically use it as assets.
Oh, wonderful. That's that's just what we need.
Yeah,
Oh
it says,
my God, really?
yeah, there's a law, and a lot of people don't know about this. And I was telling people they've changed the law so they require bank bail-ins, and people didn't believe me. And I'm like, look it up. It's all, there's tons of information out there. It's true, and people just don't look. But it says banks can seize money from depositors, turning debt into equity to keep their bank afloat. And there's 3 or 4 laws regarding this, and one of them is an HR. Let's see. I should have pulled it up earlier. Like SD bullion. I mean, people think it's only, I guess it really only is going to take an effect of severe events, right? Like a total, worldwide financial collapse or something. But the fact is they are allowed to do it, right? And that's what is kind of scary. Because if there is a massive crisis, then they could technically keep your money and force you to possibly use their new digital currency or digital system to access your money. And along with that comes control, because if you want to access your money, you might have to, for example, maybe get a job if or, who knows what, but
Well,
it's kind of scary.
the whole cashless society thing, I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't even remember everything on that video, but I mean, everybody needs to watch it. Seriously, where we're heading is pretty significant.
Yeah. And also the other thing about this is that I told you about this before this, before we started, but I did see a financial crisis during a session I did with ayahuasca. But I believe I saw the future of the whole financial system collapsing in the future, and all the banks collapsing around the world. And I talked to another shaman who said they saw the same thing, and that they said that it was going to happen in our lifetime. And because of that, that's why I started researching all this financial information. And I also did a chart reading of the USA chart, because I study Vedic astrology, and I got a timeline based on the astrology chart that it was going to start in 2023. And I didn't see exactly how it was going to happen, but I saw that the whole US financial structure was going to start changing in 2023. And that by 2025, which matches, that's why I'm asking about 2025, is because I got by 2025, 2026, it was going to escalate. And that between 2025 to 2032 is when we would see it would be out in the open, very evident. And that there was, from 2025 to 2032, everything was going to change in the US and along with around the world, because the US is dollar, it is, used everywhere. So, that I believe that's when we're going to switch over to the cashless society. And I think that, I think that we're going to have that issue come up pretty soon.
Well, and in that video, it tells you how to prep for that, right? I'm not going to give it away on here, but it's really, really interesting to see like what preparations are going to be, need to be made, what happens to people, how the IRS comes into being. Like their roles at the IRS completely change. Everything really, really changes. And there were a lot of good questions in there. So that you guys have to tune into that video. So when you did your ayahuasca, was that an intention that you set? Did you set any intentions before you did the ayahuasca to receive certain information, or did you just let the information flow in?
I can't remember right now what I did, but I do believe that I, in general, had gone to find out important information for me, right? So I wanted to heal from a lot of stuff, and I wanted to get answers of why I was here. And, I guess that was pretty much it. And I think that vision came on the first or second night that I did it. And I was just kind of shocked because it was so real. And I had this spirit came to me, and we should have probed who this was, because I told you about it, but it looked like Moses, but he had this long beard and he was wearing a robe and he had a staff in his hand, in one hand, and then he waved his other hand across the earth, and we were standing above the earth. And he said, all those who are not alive in spirit shall perish. And I just saw this energy crossing the earth. And as it crossed, all the people who were not alive in spirit, their bodies just disintegrated. And I took it as like they died. And the people that had spirits, that were alive in spirit, as he called it, they lived. And I looked closer at those people, and they were people who were growing their own food, who were taking care of the earth, who were, I guess, alive in spirit and helping others, or maybe connected with their spirit self. And those people lived, and this was happening while the banks were collapsing. And it was pretty shocking to see it.
Have you ever heard of other people's experiences that were similar to what did other people that were doing the ayahuasca with you at the time, what sort of experiences did they have? Anything similar to yours? Were you all acting as a collective, or were you acting as individuals?
As individuals. I mean, everyone has their own experience. Everyone has their own questions, things that they work on. But in general, I don't recommend doing ayahuasca, especially with the shaman, unless you really trust that person, because they're quite, a lot of them are not, really there to help you. They have their own reasons for doing what they do. But we did do a session where a group of us were in a maloka. They call it a maloka. It's like a tent, like a straw tent that they build, like out of wood and straw. And it's, it's a big room where you can kind of sit and do sessions, do ayahuasca together. And then one morning at like, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning, really early, someone woke up and they saw a big orange sphere in the middle of the room. It's like a big orange ball. And
Mm.
someone was like, "Oh my God, do you guys see that?" And then someone else was like, "Oh my God, I see it." And we woke other people up, and a bunch of people, a few people saw the orange orb in the center of the room, and we didn't know what it was. And we thought we were all, um, some of us thought it was just an ayahuasca vision, because your visions are individual to you. Like, you'll see stuff. Like, I had this monster, like, I thought this monster came to me, and it had all these spikes on it. And I was like, I told the shaman, I'm like, "There's something here. I don't know what it is. It looks like a monster." And he's like, "What does it look like?" And I said, "It has all these spikes around it, and it's round." And then the shaman said, "Oh, that's this tree." And then he named the tree, and I can't remember the name now. But he said that it's a tree. And he goes, "I'll show you tomorrow." And I'm like, "But why is it here?" He goes, "Just ask it why it's here." And so I asked the tree why it's there. And the tree said, "I'm here to heal you. I can heal you." And yeah, so I had a conversation with the tree, the
You
spirit of
know,
the tree.
that's interesting. And that answer from the tree is actually accurate. Why? Because trees are here to heal us, right? If we didn't have trees cleansing, offering their energy, we would be a mess.
Yeah.
So trees are here to heal. But I know there was also that thing with dieting the tree as well, which you explained before. Here's my problem with ayahuasca. And those of you who love hallucinogenics will hate what I'm about to say. My problem with ayahuasca is it's not controlled. Okay. I personally, my own personal thought, feeling, and opinion is that I like to stay in control. I do not like to lose control of my body in any way, shape, or form. I don't like it. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I have done in the past, of course. Yeah, I lived in London, for crying out loud, in my early 20s. Are you kidding me? I was out clubbing every night. But overall, I just don't like losing control. Okay. Now, with ayahuasca, that's why I asked you about the intention. I'm sure you probably said, this is what I like to achieve. This is the information that I want. However, there's no guarantee you're going to get that information. And this is where I prefer, just me, and this is what I know. This is why I prefer the CTT, right? The healing modality that I do, because it's very controlled. You don't have to go under any substance. You don't have to, sit and stare at a tree or an orb or whatever for hours. That is not required of you. And, a lot of people have had some very bad ayahuasca experiences where, like you said, a monster, or they talk to these little blue people, or whatever it is that they're talking to. Those experiences are not always pleasant. Now, with the CTT, you're fully in control at all times. I get a vision of your past life experience that is blocking you somehow in this lifetime. We tap that down. We uncover layers. We're tapping away uncomfortable feelings. Some of that information can be unpleasant. Yes, I agree. Okay. But you're fully conscious mind. You're fully in control at all times.
Yeah.
You could say to me, "Liz, I'm not comfortable with this information. Let's stop the session."
Well,
That's
also, there's more to it than that. Like, with ayahuasca, you're opening yourself up spiritually on a level where, if you don't know how to protect yourself, you can get attacked by different entities. And it's
exactly.
there's
Exactly.
plus the shamans are not really, necessarily good people. They could be doing all kinds of crazy stuff to you, also with an intention of doing bad things to you. And I've heard a lot of bad stories. So yeah,
Well,
it's not.
yeah, there was one shaman, I've heard that too. There was one shaman that was sexually assaulting, or at least attempting to sexually assault people down in a ayahuasca camp. I mean, that's, and here you are, you're not in full control of what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, if somebody is getting uncomfortable feelings during a CTT session, they can say, stop the session. If you're under a hallucinogenic, guess what you can't do? You have to wait a long time for that hallucinogenic to wear off, right?
Yeah.
You can't just stop the session. That session can go on and
Actually,
on and on.
Actually, you can.
How do you stop the session? Tell me.
I can tell you because I actually learned how to do ayahuasca sessions. I can administer them and make it. And so what you do, if you ever get in a situation where you just want the trip to stop, all you need to do is drink salt water. Salt water, and then you spray yourself with salt water all over your body because it cuts off the plant medicine or plant, and then you drink salt water, and that will pretty much stop the session within 5-10 minutes. Well, sometimes immediately, but it will stop it.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's if you're compass mentis to ask for help and to take the salt. How much salt water do you need to take?
Just like a small, like maybe an ounce, 2 ounces. Not much, because the salt acts, it kills the medicine, it kills the plant abilities, I don't know, whatever the plant does to you, it stops it. So it's just like how when you take a salt bath, it cleanses your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all you have to do is salt water.
Have you ever tried taking salt water to make sure that works?
I have not, but I know people. When I was in Peru, there were people there who did hold sessions regularly, especially in New York. This one guy always did, he was the one who told us use salt water, because sometimes they have people and they're, like ayahuasca causes a lot of visions, and some people, or if you have other issues like psychological issues or trauma, you could have a really bad experience. And they've had situations where people flip out and start just attacking other people, or they start doing crazy things. And so in order to get them to snap out of their whatever thing they're going through, they just give them salt water. They put it in their mouth, force them to drink it, and then within 5 to 10 minutes, they just snap out of it. And it basically just stops whatever's going on. So yeah, but anyways, okay, I think we're done with this video. I wanted to do.
Wow. Listen, you are so awesome. You know what we have a lot of call for is crime. So I've got a whole Aaron Carter probe that somebody's put together. Would you be interested in doing Aaron Carter?
Yeah, but really quick before we end this video, that I just want to tell everyone, because it's the end of March. I did tarot readings for this coming up year as far as the crypto market. And I believe from my tarot readings, because I had some followers who were interested and probably want to know this, but from when I used to do tarot readings, but I believe March is going to be the high for 2023. And then the market's going to go down. So from my tarot readings that I've done, it shows the market going down from April to August. And then August will be the low sometime in August. And then the market will start to turn around in September. But it's not going to start pumping. It'll just, the low will probably be in August. And then, we'll probably slowly go up from there. And then 2024 and 2025 are supposed to be good years for crypto.
Yeah, that's what I got. 24 and 25 are going to be stellar years, especially when we start going into 26. So, get ready to make money. Buy now, right? Because you got to get in when it's cheap, but who knows? Yeah, so this is awesome. Thank you so much. And again, you have a wonderful voice. You know how to research this stuff. I'm sure you've just helped loads and loads of people. A lot of people may not even know what ISO20022 is. You've helped them with that. So we just thank you so much. And I promise you guys, as soon as Miss Sina is doing readings again, she will let you know. Listen, we both had a discussion about it. It's hard work, right? It's very energy zapping.
Yeah.
I know some people may not have an understanding of what psychics and mediums do, but it takes a lot of energy, right? And you have to conserve your energy as well. You can't do readings all day, every day. It's just not possible. Not if you want to make sure that your information is good. So we'll just leave it there. Miss Sina will let you know as soon as she is doing tarot readings, because she's quite good. So but thank you for coming tonight and explaining all of this to everybody and your ayahuasca experience as well. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.